Hi, you're about to join me and some of my friends on the venture of a lifetime. My lifetime anyway. That's me. My name is Kendra, and I am a sophomore at Townview Magnet Center in Dallas, Texas. Now let me introduce the rest of my group. That's Jedediah and Shanda. They're both seniors at Townview. And this is Rick and Eric. They both go to St. Mark's School of Texas. This is Jessica. She just graduated from Richardson High School. And that's Matt. He's a junior at Bryan Adams High School. And finally, this is Bernadette and Seth. She's a sophomore at Skyline High School, and he's a senior at St. Mark's. The 9 of us won the privilege of representing Dallas as young ambassadors to beautiful Sendai, our international friendship city in Japan. Now come along with us as we experience 6 days in Sendai. Our adventure started extremely early one Saturday morning as we met at DFW Airport. We were all very excited and just a little bit nervous about leaving our families and going over 5,000 miles away from home. But apparently we weren't the only ones.
Nervous, Mom.
Yes, I'm a nervous mom.
Oh, and that's Mrs. Odom. She's going to be one of the chaperones on our trip. Most of us had only met a few days before the trip at an orientation session, so we weren't real sure of what to expect of each other, much less if we would even get along. But after a few final goodbyes to our families and friends, it was time to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to rumble.
After a short stop in Los Angeles, we were on our way to Japan. The first thing I realized is that it is a long, long way to Tokyo, and we had to find our own ways of spending hour after hour after hour. But after being in the air for almost 13 hours, we were finally at the Tokyo Narita Airport and in Japan. At the airport, we tried our first Japanese snack food, fried squid.
It's like a fishy french fry.
Yeah.
That's chewy. Not very hot.
From the airport, we caught a train to the Tokyo station, where we boarded the Shinkansen, which would take us to Sendai. The Shinkansen, known internationally as the Bullet Train, is a high-speed rail line that is one of the most reliable, punctual, and safest modes of transportation in the world. What was most surprising was that even though the train travels at speeds up to 120 miles per hour, the ride was very smooth and quiet. After being awake for almost 24 hours, we all needed sleep. But we were eager to meet the families that were going to open their homes and hearts to us during our stay in Sendai. After a good night's sleep, we made our way to Sendai City Hall, where we were scheduled to have a reception with the mayor of Sendai and other local dignitaries.
The cities of Dallas and Sendai affiliated International Friendship City affiliation late August last year, and since then it has been almost 1 year, and I feel really great. I feel really it is a pleasure for us to welcome you to the city of Sendai.
thank you for what you have done for us and bringing us here to see your wonderful city of Sendai.
We were all honored to be representing our city, state, and country, and wanted to make a good impression, especially when a news crew from Sendai television station showed up and started videotaping us for their local newscast. The Japanese people are very generous and is accustomed to exchange gifts on many occasions, especially on formal visits. We were very happy to present the mayor with a gift from Dallas, and we received local handicrafts as well. After the formalities were over, we were able to ask questions of the mayor and the local authorities to learn more about Sendai. We even learned about Japanese schools from the Sendai school superintendent.
We have 3 semesters, and the students have to go to school about 220 days a year.
After a delicious luncheon at a local restaurant, it was time to head through the beautiful tree-lined streets of Sendai for some sightseeing. Our first stop was the site of the former Aoba Castle. The castle was built by Date Masamune, the most famous feudal lord in Sendai's history. The site is a hill which gives you a fantastic view of the city below. We saw a Shinto shrine and were invited to ring a bell which was supposed to give us good luck. This is a huge statue of Date Masamune, who lost an eye from smallpox as a child. As you can see, the news crew have followed us and even interviewed a few of us for the news story which appeared on TV that night.
その後生徒たちは仙台城址を訪れ、伊達政宗像などを見学しました。初めて触れる日本の景色や文化にみんな興味津々です。アメリカで待っている家族や友達に見せようと一生懸命写真を撮っていました。
I like the city itself is very beautiful. Culture has a long-lasting culture. They still have preserved everything here. They've kept all their temples, and it's very nice, and I think it's beautiful.
生徒たちは今月7日までホームステイし、七夕祭りの見物や仙台市内の中高校生と交流会を行う予定です。はい。今回はですね。
Of course, being teenagers, we couldn't resist any gift shops. The local merchants sold handicrafts of lacquered wood, handmade and hand-painted kokeshi dolls, and many other beautiful items. Soon we're back on the road and driving through the lush green countryside of Japan to Shirashi Castle. The castle stands on beautiful grounds outside of Sendai and is surrounded by a huge rock wall for protection. After taking off our shoes, which is an ancient Japanese custom, we started climbing the very steep stairs to the top of the castle. The view from the top was breathtaking, and none of us wanted to leave. But it had been a long day, and tomorrow would be just as busy. The next morning, bright and early, we met in front of City Hall and boarded a bus which would take us through the hillsides and rice fields to the seaside town of Shiogama. Every time you start to feel so far from home, you see something that reminds you of how small the world really is and how much we all have in common. The harbor in Shiogama is home to many brilliantly decorated boats, which take pleasure cruises through Matsushima Bay. Matsushima, which is Japanese for Pine Islands, has been designated one of the 3 most scenic spots in Japan. The area features 230 tiny rock islands, which were truly awe-inspiring. We also enjoyed feeding the hundreds of seagulls as they followed the boat and put on a show for all of us to see. And only one of us got seasick. Once the boat docked in the town of Matsushima, our first stop was the Godaido Worship Hall. This hall was built in early 1609 and is only open to the public for special ceremonies held once every 33 years. The next time people will be allowed to view the interior will be in 2006. Next, we walk through the Oshima, which is set in a lovely grove of trees and features images of Buddhist deities sculpted directly onto rock formations and rock tablets. After that, we enjoyed a fantastic buffet lunch of traditional Japanese foods, which was an adventure in itself for a bunch of kids from Dallas. My favorite was a shaved ice dessert with fruit juice. Next on our agenda was the San Juan Bautista Park and Museum. Named for St. John the Baptist, the park's focal point is a replica of a wooden ship that Date Masamune had built for a diplomatic trip to Europe in 1613. Inside the museum, Seth and Shanda discovered a sailing simulator, and even though we couldn't understand the Japanese, American teenagers just can't resist a video game. Speaking of a small world, we were surprised to meet a high school exchange student from Oklahoma. It was fun to share our experiences with each other. After exchanging addresses with our new friend, we were back on the bus and headed back to Sendai. By now, it was obvious our little group of strangers was quickly becoming much more than that. Friendships were being formed and bonds were being built that I hope will last for a long, long time. One thing we all had in common was a growing love of Japan, its people, and its traditions. One tradition we particularly enjoyed was karaoke. Karaoke is everywhere in Japan, even on our tour bus. So we sang our way back to Sendai in the end of another incredible day. The next day we met at the Sendai International Center, where we were to take part in workshops with students from Sendai schools.
そういうふうなことでですね、話し合いの時間も持っていきたいに思います。
Thank you for coming today. Now we would like to start the workshop for the students from Dallas and also the students from Sendai.
Even though there was a language barrier, it was obvious to us that teenagers are pretty much the same all over the world, and soon we were communicating with our new friends very well. We were divided into two groups and were taught about the ancient Japanese art of origami. Soon we were folding our own little paper creations. After the work was finished, we had time to talk, play games, and get to know each other a little better. A couple of girls let Bernadette and me try on their school uniforms. We even taught them a few things from home.
You do the hokey pokey and turn around. That's what it's all about. You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and turn around.
That night, we got to view the fireworks that kicked off Sendai's famous Tanabata Festival from a downtown office building. It was an incredible show, and we were having such a great time, I couldn't believe tomorrow would be our last full day in Sendai. Since this was our last day in Sendai, we were going to be very busy trying to do everything we had left to do. The first order of business was to attend a farewell party given in our honor. The party was attended by our host families, our new friends, and members of the Sendai Dallas Exchange Association. Once again, we were given gifts which will become permanent souvenirs of our wonderful stay and reminders of the great friends we would soon be leaving behind. It was also our chance to thank the many wonderful people who made it all possible. We will always remember this. Thank you. Next, we made our way downtown to view the incredible Tanabata parade. You know, I was surprised at how similar this parade was to the ones we have in the United States. All the elements were there: floats, marching bands, singers, drill teams, and even the Sendai Police Department had a precision motorcycle team, which was very exciting. parade, we made our way over to the main street of downtown to view the Tanabata display. The origin of the Tanabata festival evolved from a Chinese tale in which a weaver, daughter of a celestial king, fell in love with a handsome cowherder, and they decided to marry. The father disliked the way she neglected her weaving, and he his herd, so he separated them on opposite sides of the Milky Way, and decreed that they could only meet one night a year. The people of Sendai celebrate the event each year by hanging the intricate, beautiful, handmade Tanabata decorations on bamboo poles over the street. It is a fun and colorful event for people of all ages. Unfortunately, all things must come to an end, so the next morning we met at the Sendai train station. It was time to say a reluctant goodbye to our adopted Japanese families and friends. The people we met, the experiences we had, and the things we saw are memories we will keep forever. Memories of our 6 days in Sendai.